Hi, this is Dr. Nisha Manish, Associate Professor from Meerut College, Meerut, and I am here to interact on the topic General Characters and Classification of Class Reptilia. So further you can find me at drnishamanish@gmail.com. Yes, here you are seeing a slide, and this slide or picture depicts the story of a monkey and crocodile. In our childhood, we have remembered that story of the notorious crocodile. So, you remember this crocodile? Now, there is also one of the story we have learned in our childhood, the story of rabbit and turtle, in which the rabbit between the race of a rabbit and turtle, the turtle wins, although he walk very slowly. So this story, the moral of this story is that never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. So the moral we know very well. The third one is the snakes you are seeing on your screen. There is a very beautiful quote about this snake, that not all the snakes are poisonous and not all the poisons are deadly. Keep this in mind when bitten. Again, you are seeing the dinosaurs. You have seen the great story of dinosaurs in the movie that is Jurassic Park. And it was a very interesting movie about the dinosaurs. You know, the dinosaurs are a group of prehistoric giant lizards during Triassic period. They become extinct at the end of Cretaceous period. So my endeavor to show these few slides before going into the topic, that these all creatures, what we have seen just in our these slides, you have seen just, these are all reptiles. So let us talk about the reptiles and let us do the general characters and classification of class Reptilia. Now come to first the general characters of class Reptilia. What are these animals? Whether it is a turtle or it is a crocodile or it is a snake, what characters they have generally, in general. Now, first of all, reptiles first appear in the fossil record 315 million years ago, and they were the dominant animals during the Mesozoic era, which lasts for 270 million years until the extinction of the dinosaurs. National Geographic says. The name Reptilia refers to the creeping and crawling animals. In Latin, repere means to creep or crawl. What type of animals these all are? They are air breathing like we people. They are terrestrial and cold-blooded tetrapods. Cold-blooded, in our previous discussion, we have also learned about what are the cold-blooded animals and the warm-blooded animals. Cold-blooded animals are those animals which cannot change their body temperature according to the change in the environment. So these type of animals, they cannot withstand the change in the temperature of the environment. These type of animals are known as the cold-blooded animals. Now they are bilateral symmetrical. Bilateral symmetrical, if we cut the body into two halves, the body will be the two halves will be the mirror images of each other. Again, the body divisible into head, neck, trunk and tail. Two pair of limbs are present except some lizards and snakes. Now they are pentadactyl, means 5 digits are present. Presence of horny claws. Exoskeleton consists of horny epidermal scales, shields Shields are the shields, stutes, and plates. Shields, stutes, and these plates are the larger scales which are found on the body or in the skin. Skin is very dry, cornified, without glands. Cornified is the upper epidermal layer of the skin where stratum corneum, it consists of the stratum corneum and a very dry this layer. Now jaws with conical teeth. However, in turtles, teeth are replaced by horny beaks. Endoskeleton is bony with monocondylic skull. Monocondylic skull means only one single condyle is present in the skull, into which fits the first ever vertebra of the vertebral column, that is atlas. The T-shaped interclavicle is present. That is a very characteristic feature of the reptiles. The T-shaped interclavicle bone is present just in front of the this sternum and either side of the clavicles. Alimentary canal opens into a common pouch-like structure that is known as the cloaca, where the urinogenital opening is also there in the cloaca. Heart three-chambered, except in crocodiles where heart is four-chambered. Two systemic arches and sinus venosus is present. Aerial respiration, as just we have discussed, with the lungs, they are uricotelic, means they excrete uric acid. Excretory organs are metanephric kidneys. Brain is well developed with cerebrum. Cranial nerves 12 pairs. A Jacobson organ is present in the roof of mouth. The Jacobson organ is very, very characteristic in case of reptiles, and it is an organ for chemoreception. Sexes are separate, male with a copulatory organ. Fertilization is internal. They are mostly oviparous with large amount of yolk. Means they have telolacethal eggs with a large amount of yolk. Extra embryonic membranes are present. Means amnion, chorion, allantois, and yolk set during the embryonic developmental stages. There are 4 these extra embryonic membranes are present. Now these were certain general characters. Now come to the classification of class Reptilia. Yes, Reptilia is classified into 5 subclasses. These are Anapsida, Euryapsida, Parapsida, Synapsida, and Diapsida. You can see here, out of these 5 subclasses, Euryapsida is extinct, Parapsida is extinct, and Synapsida is extinct. Only 2 subclasses, that is Anapsida and Diapsida, they have the living members or the animals or the reptiles. Now come to first the Anapsida. Anapsida again has 2 order, Cortillosauria and Chelonia or Testudinata. Again, if we come to the Diapsida, Diapsida has 2 superorder, Lepidosauria and Archosauria. This Lepidosauria again has 2 order, Rhynchocephalia and Squamata. Archosauria has only single order, that is of Crocodilia, which the crocodile is the example and alligator is the example of this order Crocodilia. We have remembered the story of monkey and crocodile. That is this order. Now, what are the characters of these subclasses? We have just done the outline in this slide, but now what are the characters of these 5 classes? Although the three are extinct, even though what are the characters of these 5 subclasses? The main characters we will discuss here only. If we see the Anapsida, they are primitive forms with solid skull roof with no temporal opening. Means in on their roof of the skull there are no any temporal opening. Now, Eurypsida are the extinct forms. Skull with a single dorsolateral temporal opening on either side, bounded by postorbital and squamosal bone from lower side. Means skull has single dorsolateral temporal opening on either side of the skull. Just we will talk this up with a diagram. Just we will show the diagram also. In case of Parapsida, skull with a single dorsolateral temporal opening on either side, bounded below by supratemporal and postfrontal bones. In Synapsida, they are also extinct forms. Skull with a single lateral temporal opening on either side, bounded above by the postorbital and squamosal bones. Here we have learned about the bones which surround that particular opening. In Dapsida, instead of a single opening, there are 2 lateral temporal opening on either side of the skull, bounded above by the postorbital and squamosal bones. Now, let us show or study with this diagram. In Synapsida, this is the skull of a synapsid, and you can see these are the orbits, eye orbits, and this is the opening or the fossa. And this is a single opening is there that is bounded by squamosal, just we have discussed theoretically, and here it is postorbital bone. So this opening is bounded by squamosal and postorbital bone. If we see Parapsida, you can see again an opening that is bounded by supratemporal and postfrontal anteriorly and squamosal. So this is the opening or fossa as far as parapsid skull is concerned. If we see the anapsid skull, you can see just we have discussed in our theory these points what we have done in our previous slide. There is no any temporal opening on the skull. The roof is totally solid roof as far as anapsid skull is concerned. Now in Eurypsid, you can see one opening on either side of the skull that is bounded by the postorbital and the squamosal bone. In Diapsid, instead of a single opening, as we have seen in all these 3 skulls, you can see the 2 opening on either side of the skull that are bounded by the postorbital and squamosal. So these are the 5 types of skull, and from these description we can conclude, or we came to know that the structure of the skull plays an important part as far as the classification of reptiles are concerned. You can see here the skull of a lizard also. There is a little bit difference between the, again there is a single opening on the either side, the postorbital bounded by the postorbital and the squamosal. So the structure of skull plays a pivot role as far as the classification is concerned. Now we will separately do the subclasses, the characters, the important characters of the every subclass. That is, first we will take the subclass Anapsida. What are the characters of anapsids? Just I have told, the skull has solid roof without temporal fossa. Fossa or opening, the same thing. Quadrate and otic bones are connected. They are connected together. Body is covered with carapace. Carapace is an outer covering of the body, which is found dorsally, and plastron, the ventral covering, is known as the plastron in case of anapsids. Limbs are very strong. Now, we can divide, just told you the order in our outline classification. We have just learned about that the subclass anapsid is divided into two orders. These anapsids are order Cortillosauria. These are known as the stem reptiles, and the order Chelonia or Testudinata. Remember the turtle of that story. Now, what are the characters? Some very important characters we will discuss here. Order Cortillosauria is an extinct reptile. These are the extinct reptiles with solid skull roof without any fossa, just discussed. They are similar to labyrinthodonts. These are the primitive amphibians, the labyrinthodonts. They have a similarity with that of the labyrinthodonts amphibians. In case of Chelonia or Testudinata, they are terrestrial or aquatic forms with solid skull roof without any fossa, because they are anapsids. So the skull roof will be the solid naturally. Body covered with a dorsal carapace and a ventral plastron, with or without horny shields. The horny shields or the horny scales, the big scales, are known as the shields. These may or may not be present. Single nasal opening at the anterior end of the snout. The P is absent in the opening, please correct. So single nasal opening at the anterior end of the snout is present. In case of Cortillosauria, limbs are poorly developed and laterally projected if present. Two pairs of pentadactyl limbs are present with claws or webbed pedals. Tail is also present. Now, next is poorly developed jaws and teeth. The jaws and teeth are poorly developed. In case of Chelonia, teeth are transformed into horny beak. Pubis, okay, we will see first about the pelvic girdle in case of Cortillosauria. Flat and plate-like pelvic girdle is present. Here, pubis and ischium form symphysis. Here you can see the pelvic girdle is flat, but here the pubis and ischium of the pelvic girdle forms symphysis. Again, the thoracic vertebrae fused with carapace in most of the forms, and the sacral vertebrae, the vertebrae of the hip region, are known as the sacral vertebrae. The sacral vertebrae are 2 in number. Cortillosaurians became extinct in Triassic. And in case of this Chelonia, they are the living animals. They are oviparous with around 400 species of marine turtles, terrestrial tortoises, and freshwater turtles. Example of Chelonia of subclass Anapsida are Chelone, Testudo, Trionyx, Kachuga, and many more. In case of Cortillosauria, the example is Simoria. You can see the picture of these. Yes, this is Simoria. Simoria is an extinct genus of a terrestrial tetrapod. Very interestingly, one thing is there that it was thought to be an amphibian and had reptile-like characteristics. So, according to some author, it is also included in amphibian. It was previously it was studied in class amphibia. So the image you can see I have taken from Wikimedia Commons. Thanks, Wikimedia Commons. You can see a beautiful picture of turtle. This class Testudinata. The turtles or Testudinata or Testudines or the Sauropsida. They appear for the first time more than 220 million years ago in the Carnian. So, courtesy again, Wikipedia. Now we have finished the class Anapsida. Now come to the subclass Diapsida. The Diapsida has two superorder, Lepidosauria and Archosauria. What are the characters? We will see the important characters here. They are scaly lizards. Lepidosaurians are the lizards. They are scaly lizards. Archosaurians, they are ruling reptiles. Two temporal openings on the skull, as name indicated, Diapsida. Di means two. So two temporal openings are present on the skull. We just have studied in the diagram of that skulls also. They also have two temporal openings. However, upper temporal opening is closed. Now, anterior orbital opening is absent. Anterior or orbital opening usually present behind the nostril. The humerus, the bone of the anterior limb with two foramina. Here, in case of Archosauria, humerus with foramina, hind legs larger and powerful. Now come to the superorder Lepidosauria. This has two order Rhynchocephalia and order Squamata. Rhynchocephalia. Rhynchos means snout, cephal means head, and squama means scales. You know about those a number of type of snakes and this other animals mainly. So these are all comes under squamata. And lizards, two vacuities present in the skull. Vacuities again the hole-like structure or the foramina. Here single, either supra temporal vacuity in lizards and no temporal vacuity in snakes. Just I have told the lizards and snakes are the member of order Squamata. Acrodont type of teeth. Here teeth are pleurodont or acrodont both. Quadrate bone is immovable. Here quadrate is movably articulated with skull. Vertebrae amphicoelous. Vertebrae mostly procoelous. Sacrum with two vertebrae. Means two sacral vertebrae are present, and procoelous centrum is procoelous. Here amphicoelous centrum is present. Now pentadactylus in case of Rhynchocephalia, limbs adapted for walking. Here limbs cloth present or absent in some lizard and snakes. External copulatory organ absent. A pair of copulatory organ is present. Sphenodon or Tuatara, a single living species, only a single living, mind it, only a single living species is present as far as this order Rhynchocephalia is concerned, and the example is Sphenodon. In case of order Squamata, just I have told you that a number of type of lizards and a number of species of snakes are the member of this order Squamata. About 6,800 species of snakes and lizards like Hemidactylus, very few I have given here, Calotis, Heloderma, Euromastix, Draco, Naza, Typhlops, Python, etc. are the member of this order Squamata. Now come to some diagrams or images. Sphenodon, the Rhynchocephalia. Sphenodon punctatus. The full name is Sphenodon punctatus. Is only a species confined to New Zealand. It comes under the order Rhynchocephalia. It has a parietal eye considered to be a third eye, which become covered with scales in later stages of development, very interestingly. And the image courtesy is animaldiversity.org. Draco. Draco is an arboreal lizard, commonly known as flying lizard or flying dragon. Means it is a arboreal, means it lives on trees. The ribs extend into a wing-like structure known as patagium. You can see the wing-like structure here in a lizard. In our the normal common house lizard, we cannot see these patagium or the wing-like structure. But here, in case of Draco, these ribs extend into a wing-like structure known as patagium. And again, image courtesy. Thank you for the New York Public Library Public Domain Archive. Next, the snake, non-poisonous snake with small and narrow belly scales. You can see the belly scales here laterally. These are the belly scales. You can see the narrow and very small belly scales. And this is known as the gopher, and it is a non-poisonous snake. And I have taken this Thickest Web Search. Here is a poisonous snake. You can see this mouth, head also. This the infralabial and the supralabial. The big or the large these shields, and the belly scales. You can see the entire length of the belly. The broad belly scales are present, which covering the entire length of the belly. This is the difference between a poisonous and non-poisonous snake. And we will see later on, we will do the identification between a poisonous and non-poisonous snakes also. And the image courtesy is from Flickr Web Search. Now come to the superorder Arthosauria. It has only one order, Crocodilia. These are aquatic, large-sized, carnivorous with a strong laterally compressed tail, short, strong, clawed and webbed lips. The skin is thick with scales, scutes and bony plates. Teeth are thecodont, means they are lodged in sockets. Skull with two temporal openings because they are diapsids. That's why skull with two temporal openings. Quadrate is movable. Parietal foramina is absent. A pseudo palate is present. Ribs are bicephalous. Abdominal ribs are present. Heart is four-chambered, very important character in case of Crocodilia. Male with erectile copulatory organ, and obviously the example is Crocodilus and alligator. And yes, you can see here the short, strong, clawed and webbed limbs. Skin is thick. You can see the very thick skin and clawed these clawed and webbed limbs you can see here, and very thick skin with scales, scutes and bony plates. Teeth are thecodont. They are lodged and very dangerous, very dangerous teeth are here, and they are lodged in sockets, means they are thecodont. And the courtesy of image, Wikimedia Commons. Now references. A textbook. I have taken this text from a textbook of zoology vertebrate by R.L. Kotpal. Coded Zoology by E.L. Jordan and P.S. Verma. And all images just I have taken, and you have seen in the presentation, images from Google search. And the credits, other credits, my special thanks to all the people who made and released these awesome resources for free. The presentation template by Slides Carnival and the photograph by Unsplash. And these photographs by Unsplash. And thanks. Any question? You can find me at dr.nisha manish@gmail.com.